Hello everyone. Let us start the next topic, that is sequence diagrams for adding new member. So we are aware of the library information system, and we have seen in the previous video, that is the UML diagrams of a library information system. So these are all the UML diagrams which we have seen, that is a book, and how the library is related with the books, and these are all the UML diagrams we have come across already. And let's see the sequence diagrams for adding new member. So first, if you want to avail the service of a library, you should be a member of the library. So how the UML diagram or a sequence diagrams will take the process, or will help you to understand the adding a new member into the library information system. Add member will be the request for the user interface. This is the system, and it requests for the data wherein the user has to enter. The user has to enter name, address, and phone number. So there will be certain method inside this system, that is a library information system, wherein it takes these three parameters and to the library software, and name, address, and phone number will be added to the member list. And when it is added to the member list, so it will ask for, is there any new member to be added. So it that at that time, uh, it will ask to the member list, and next it will be sent as a intimation to the user, saying that the result is, we have got the result. That is, we have got the result means a member is being inserted into the database. That is, new member is added into the database. In the same manner, sequence diagram for adding books, as how you have added the member, in the same manner can even add the books also into the library. So add books, it will ask for the data request. So if you want any books to be added, you need three fields: uh, title of the book, author of the book, and the ID of the book. So based on the IDs of the book, we will be searching. But while adding into the library, so we require these three fields, and the method named add book will be given to the library, and it will be fed in the library catalog. What is this library catalog? Catalog is a database wherein the book information will be stored over there, and it will be returned, and this boolean will tell you that whether it is inserted successfully or not. If it is inserted successfully, it will give as a true. In the same manner here also, boolean insert member, if it is inserted correctly, then it will be true, otherwise it will be false. If any error happens, it will be false, and you need to try once again. In the same manner here, after insertion of a book, then it will return the result to the user, and it asks for the one more, whether you want to add one more book into the library or not. If yes, the loop gets repeated, otherwise it exits from the system. Okay, so this is about a sequence diagram for adding books, and next we have sequence diagram for issuing books. So you have already come to the library, you want to take some books from the library. So this is the scenario which will explain you, or this is a sequence diagram which explains you the issuing of books from the library. Issue books is the request to the interface. Data, it will be asking for you to enter. What data you are entering is the member ID. So based upon the member ID itself, you are issuing some book. Search membership with member ID. uh, yes, it will be sent to the member list. Why? Because if you are member of a library, then only you can take the service from the library information system. Otherwise, if you are not a member of a library, then you cannot issue the books from the library. So that's why first it will see the member list, and then it will confirm whether you are a member of a library or not. If you are a member of a library, then you can go for the loop. Loop means you can issue the books, and then you can give the data request with what book you want to issue. So that next, that thing comes next. That is, you can give the book ID. Issue book is a method with book ID and a member ID. That is, why member ID? This particular member wants to issue this particular book, and it will search in the catalog of a book catalog, whether that book is present or not. Okay, and member search member ID, and it will search whether this member ID is present or not. Next, Boolean issue books. Whether if it is successful for issuing, then you can uh, return as yes. If issue Boolean issue member, so then a particular book will be issued to a member, and the library will give as a return a book, and that is a result what is expected. And do you want to issue more books? If yes, then the loop will be repeated. Otherwise, you can come out of the library information system sequence diagram. That is, a sequence of activities takes place between the user and the library system, and wherein you have a book section, you have a catalog which holds the book information, a member whether he belongs to a member or not, whether he is a member of a library or not, a member list of members who are present in the library information system. That list is maintained in the library member list. And we'll see sequence diagram for returning a book. So now we have issued a book, we want to return a book. Return book, what data it will ask is data request is, it will just give you the, you can just give the book ID. Return book will be the method called with the book ID. Search book ID in the catalog, then this, and a particular member will return a book, and here one condition will be checked, that is there any code on that particular book? If, then you cannot return a book. And return book, a member, it is given to the member. So at that time it's a boolean also. If he is returning the book, then it will confirm it as a yes. Then he will return a book, and then the result will be shown to the user. If he wants to return more book, he will go for yes as a message, as a, he can go for yes as an option. Otherwise he will exit from the library information system. If he wants to return more number of books, then the loop gets repeated. Otherwise it terminates. Okay. Next, sequence diagram for removing the books. Removing the books from the library itself. It's not removing the books from the member list and all. It's removing the books from the library. Remove books is the request for the interface. Next, book ID will be given as an input. There is a method named remove with an ID. Book search book ID in the catalog, it will be searched as boolean, whether it is the book is present in the catalog or not, or in the book list. It will be it will be seen. Next, a member, whether it is has borrowed that particular book for deletion, it will check. Okay. And next, can delete book and remove. If no member is holding that book, then you can delete that book, you can remove it from the catalog. Then the destroy method gets uh, executed, and the result will be shown to the shown to this user. I want to delete more book, the exclamation sentence it is if, or else it's a question mark. So if he wants to delete more book, he can go for yes. Otherwise you can exit this library information system entire procedure. And next, sequence diagram for printing member transactions. Printing member transactions is nothing but what all the activities he has done between the date. Okay. Get transaction data, data request is member ID and a date. Member ID and a date means on the particular day what transaction he has done. So suppose assume that on 10/10 he has done certain transaction. Get transaction method will be called, and with the member ID, and the date will be given as a, is given as a input. Member, the member list, this member ID will be searched, and next, get transaction will be taken from the member section, wherein it's an iterator, and whatever the transaction a member has done, that will be present in this particular section, and it will be given as a result. And why this is a iterator? Because many of the transactions he might have done of issuing a book or returning a book, whatever he has done. So that will be taken care. So that's why it is written as a iterator ODF, and he will get all the transactions. That is a return. That is a result of this particular sequence diagram. And next, sequence diagram for placing a hold. For placing a hold, the result, the request is place hold, data request. You should give an input, that is user ID, book ID, and the duration. How much duration you want to place a hold, or how much duration you want to place the hold of that book. And it will ask for the, it will search whether he is a valid member or not. He will, whether it will check book ID is correct or not from the catalog. Next, whether it is being borrowed or not from the book, and if borrow not equal to none, then he can execute that hold method. Then place hold. Hold should be executed by the place. Yes, place should be executed whenever a person wants to hold a book, and that request will be sent to the book, and the place hold will be given to the member. It means the member is holding a particular book and for a certain duration of time. That int section or that int will give you for how much duration he wants to hold as a result. So in this part there is no concept of loop and all. Just a person wants to place a hold on a book. Next, we have some problem here. We are not getting the next line. Okay. Sequence diagram for removing the hold. We have placed a hold on a book. Remove hold will be the request, and data that request will be taken with the member ID and the book ID. Remove hold will be the method which will be invoked with the member ID and the book ID. It will search in the member list, that is whether the book is being hold or not. First, the book will be searched with an ID, that too in the catalog, and the remove hold for a particular member ID will be sent to the book, and boolean remove hold, it is asking whether for that particular member a hold is placed, can I remove it? Yes. If the, definitely it will be yes, and it will send uh, the result back to the interface saying that the hold which was placed earlier is being removed by giving these two parameters, that is member ID and the book ID. Member ID because who is holding that book and on which book it is being held. So for that we need these two as a parameters. So at this point we have completed all the sequence diagrams of the library information system. So these diagrams are called as sequence diagrams, and in the coming classes we are in the coming videos we shall see the class diagrams, we shall see some of the codes, and we shall see some of the uh, examples on the library information system. So which completes our module number